What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. Man, I I ain't never seen so many emotional men in my life. I promise you that. Especially when, I mean, you ain't talking about them. You talking about something else. And I mean, you would think you was speaking on them. I don't, a lot of these guys who make these videos, I can tell they ain't ever even sparred before. You know, size, strength, weight divisions. They got that shit for a reason. They really do. You know, uh, if you watch how Bud Crawford careers went, Terrence Crawford was at 135. He was a big 135 pounder. Then he went to 140. He looked good at 140, but the money was at 147. Similar with most guys, the smaller fighters that make it to the welterweight, they usually move this weight. Now, when Bud first got to 147 and beat Jeff Horn, what people don't realize, he could have fought Earl Spence then, but he was smart enough and his team was smart enough to know he got to grow into the division. I even made a video some years ago. It was either after the Amir Khan fight or Kell Brook. I can't remember which one. I'll go back one day and find the video. But I was saying that Earl better go ahead and fight him before he grow into the division, because if he do, he might be in trouble. I think after the Sean Porter fight, I was like, okay, he a full welterweight. Now I said they might have waited too late, and it ended up that they did, because he had got his body had developed. Now he had the big fight with Spence, who what all y'all saying was washed up at that point. I don't necessarily consider it. I think it was just a great fucking victory for Terrence Crawford. I'm not gonna take nothing away from that man win, because when Earl beat Ugas down like he did, wasn't nobody talking about he was shot then. Terrence Crawford just came in there better prepared that night, I feel like, and did what a champion do, won the fight. I don't take nothing away from Earl Spence from losing that fight. And I give Terrence Crawford 100% credit for going out there winning that big fight. You know, uh, so now he had the one fight at 154. I felt like he won it clearly, but was it his greatest performance? No, he was going up in weight. You got to be careful when you're in there with bigger dudes. And even in that, he got to eat more. He should have been stronger. Did he knock Marjamov out? Hell no. Did he knock him down? No. Did he even get close to knocking him down? No. Bigger man, better punch resistance. Now we're gonna go from 154. Now we're gonna bypass 160 and go all the way to 168. And then not only are we going to 168, we're gonna fight Canelo in the first fight. Canelo is a real motherfucking fighter. Canelo is a bad boy. Now, do I think Crawford is a better boxer? I think so. But it's like the same level. I would call Crawford a better boxer because his footwork and his speed. Outside of that, I mean, reach. Outside of that, I don't see no other advantages for him at all in this fight. Now Canelo gonna have power. He gonna have the A side. He gonna have a small ring. All this shit work for him, and he is the natural. Canelo is not really a 168 pounder. He went up to light heavyweight and beat Kovalov and John Ryder. He got away from that because Benavidez has followed him. So I go back to 168. Or it could have been the Bivol loss. Let me not do Canelo like that, because like I said, I'm not against Canelo. I like Canelo. I don't like this. I think Canelo is a good enough fighter to fight the good guy, the top guys in his division. And stop trying to raid these little dudes. He ain't even going to the 160 pounders. He done skipped over them and going to get the motherfuckers from 154 Crawford had one fight at 154, so is he a 154 pounder or a welterweight that took a fight at 154 pounds? Because he ain't fought nobody else up there. The dude only had 10 fights and lasted 12 rounds. Now, will y'all be realistic with y'all motherfucking self? Some of y'all. This gonna be it. You think that dude better than Canelo that he fought? Not even close. Not even in the same stratosphere. Y'all seen what Virgil Ortiz did to him. Come on now. And Virgil Ortiz is just a natural 154 pounder at this point. And he came up from welterweight too, but he should have been at 154, similar to Spence to some degree. But bottom line, y'all saw what Virgil Ortiz did to him. That was strength. A bigger, stronger man. You don't get it? And so, if a motherfucker gonna make $50 million, you think he gonna, let me let y'all hear the stupid shit I hear in the comment section. Well, why Crawford ain't fighting nobody at 154? Because they gonna pay him $50 million to go fight Canelo. That's why. Shit. You think he gonna go fight somebody for 10 million when there's 50 million on the table? I mean, make it make sense. You know, motherfuckers, I'm telling you, man, this female shit that's in these men out here, it drive you fucking crazy. There's so many, man, I'm telling you, boy. I'm telling you. And, hey, Bud, a great boxer. He was a great boxer against Madrimov. How bad did he hurt him? You think that's gonna be a harder? You think he gonna be an easier fight than fucking Canelo? If that guy lasts 12 rounds with him, but y'all, shit, man, I'm telling you. Now I think Crawford will prepare a lot better for this fight. I think he gonna try harder for this fight, but you damn sure better, cause you gonna have a much better fighter, much stronger fighter, much bigger fighter, much more experienced fighter, a A-side fighter. All this is Canelo. I'm not saying he can't do it. I just don't see it. Especially straight up. I could see if he asked for a catch weight or something like that, I'd have took it a lot more serious. But when you gonna take whatever he say, this is cause he want that money. That's what this is about. He want that money. This was the same thing with Earl Spence. Don't y'all remember? Crawford was like, fuck the fight. I don't need it. Spence was the one that couldn't walk away. He wanted that money so bad he did whatever Crawford wanted to do to get him in that ring. And he got what he wanted. He wasn't worried as much about the win as we was. He was worried about that payday. Bud is Earl Spence this time. Bud is in the exact position Earl Spence was the last time, chasing money instead of, just to fight. Bud is doing this for the money. Of course, it's a nice, what he supposed to say? Man, dog. I've been, what he supposed to say? Like he said, I never thought about fighting Canelo. You know why? Because he was so many weight divisions ahead of him. Too big. That's why he never thought about it. Earl would have got beat by Canelo probably too, but PBC, that's the direction they was trying to go, and ride the momentum. And I think I think Crawford will do better than Earl would have. I do believe that because Crawford is a much more versatile fighter. Earl showed he was somewhat one-dimensional, just had a good one dimension, but it kind of showed in the Crawford fight. And I'm not gonna blame everything on no accidents and all that shit, because he got in there. If you get in that ring, you can't live off excuses. Now, some of that stuff is just facts, but the fact also is he got shit beat out of him in there, and we can't get around that. Earl, my man, but facts, truth to truth. Bud went in there and whooped his ass, and he beat Danny Garcia and Ugas before that. Wasn't nobody saying nothing about him until it wasn't even just him losing the fight. It's because he haven't been fighting since the fight. That's what got a lot of people salty. It's like, but see, when people get the money they want, I mean, y'all gonna see. I hope Crawford can pull this off. I seen a video where he got a master game plan. I like hearing that because it's gonna take one. It's definitely gonna take a master game plan, and I think a bigger ring than he gonna have. I didn't like the fact that they get him to sign for the fight. After the fight gets signed, y'all want to shorten up the rings and call no run and all this bullshit. If I ain't know no better, I would think that some of the people that's involved in this want to see the boy lose. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's how it feel from over here because uh it just seemed like once again that's why I was trying to tell y'all if we ain't careful, this shit gonna turn to professional wrestling. These people know most of these motherfuckers don't know what they looking at, so you can throw anybody in there and just put the right promotion behind it, and they'll be dumb enough to think it's a real fight. I'm not saying I think I think Terrence Crawford is a real fighter. I know he is, but he ain't Superman shit. you know, uh, like I say, man, Canelo done had 2 fights this year already. It'd be his 3rd fight in 1 fucking year. And here's the biggest thing y'all got to look at, and I'm done with it. Canelo is the star in this fight. Crawford got a good following. He got good fans, and he's gotten real popular since the fight with Earl Spence because Earl Spence was a much bigger star than Terrence Crawford. Uh, Canelo has been the cash cow, pound for pound, whatever you want to call the top guy in boxing, for the most part since Floyd retired. If if Canelo lose to a man coming up 3 divisions smaller than him, y'all hear me good. Outside of the money, his reputation in boxing is gone. His whole career is damn near shot because that's when everybody will go back and scrutinize the Triple G, the first Triple G fight that could have went either way, the Lara fight that could have went either way, the fight with Skull that he just had that could have went either way if Skull had a name. It's a lot of stuff that's gonna come in question if he was to lose this fight. And from where I'm sitting at, Canelo, it would make more sense for him to lose to Benavidez than it would Terrence Crawford, and he know it. He cannot afford to lose this fight. So I don't even think he take this fight if he thinks there's any chance he can lose. I've been saying that since the minute they brought this up. If Canelo take this fight, it's only because he know there's no chance he's gonna lose it. And I can't see now anybody can be knocked out. I've said that 1,000 times. Bud is a good puncher. He punch good with both hands, but the reality is it's very unlikely that he knocking Canelo out. That's some unlikely shit right there. I ain't saying it can't happen, but it's very unlikely. And if he don't, and it go 12 rounds, let's be real. Y'all already know how this shit gonna play. So, for me, I just feel like I just feel like it's more of a show than a fight. I feel like it's WWE on steroids. This is the direction we going in. You know, I agree with some of the stuff Oscar said. They having dinner together, all that shit. Man, please. With somebody you finna fight with. Somebody that's this big that can, I don't know, man. That shit looks suspect. It do. I agree with Oscar now. It could be hate cause Turkey making noise in a sport of boxing, but I just feel like it almost make me think people want to see the boy lose. Honestly, because once again, there ain't nobody brought up Fundora. Man, that was a good fight for him to me. Now he ain't gonna make close to that money. That's why Bud didn't even consider none of them fights at 154 with this Canelo fight floating around out there. Honestly, this he'll never ain't it wasn't no it ain't he can fight 3 or 4 fights and won't get the money he finna get for this one fight. If that ain't motivation, what the hell is? And I ain't talking about motivation to win, motivation to take the fight and, try your best. But the bottom line is, he already won the day he signed the thing and they agreed to this fight. Bud already won $50 million. 50 mil. Just made a good lick with Earl. He gonna be set for life. Him and his kids is set for life. I like that about it. I do. This is why. So when people say, "You think what you think you gonna get to fight Boots?" Shit, you gonna fight Boots or Canelo? 50 million or five? Get the fuck out of here. That ain't no. That ain't even. People be saying stuff so stupid in the comment section. Ain't nobody looking at nobody in a Canelo fight is on the docket. Thing is, it shouldn't have been no Canelo fight on there because he shouldn't be looking at no dude that small. I don't give a fuck what he said. Benavidez has been calling Canelo out for about 5 years. How come he ain't heard that? Why he ain't answer that call? Legitimate fight. And I don't know that. Now, I like Benavidez over everybody, but that don't mean he can beat Canelo. That's why they need to fight. So it's like Canelo help everybody make some money but that boy. And Benavidez has been fighting good fighters in his divisions, whooping their ass. He fought Andrade. He fought Caleb Plant. He fought the young boy from Cuba recently. He in there fighting good fighters over and over again. Not old washed up motherfuckers with a big name. I'm just keeping this real. So from where I'm sitting at, it's gonna be the fight they giving us, and as long as we got these dumbass fans like we got, we gonna keep getting shows instead of fights because these motherfuckers stupid enough to go for it. Seriously, they ain't, and Shaq is the only one that stood on business with Canelo. I'm gonna make a video about that too. But that's it for me on this video. If you liked the video, hit the like or subscribe. Till the next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.